Fans TV. We are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors you can already see on the screen. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2023, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your post-match analysis video for Saturday's 1-1 draw at the Den. Late drama at the wrong end of the pitch for us sees this hoodoo still hanging over us at the Den. As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that Joe Edwards picked to start the match. And the gaffer went with a side very, very close to what I said he should pick in my preview. I think it was 9 of the 11 that I said he should have picked. The only ones that he picked that I wouldn't have was the goalkeeper. In hindsight, no real errors from Sarkic, very little to do in the game, and I would have played Watmore instead of Fleming. I think that would have been the right decision, judging how Fleming, for me, didn't really perform too good again, and Watmore looked really good when he came on. It was Sarkic in goal. It was 5 at the back. Leonard, Cooper and Wes Harding, 3 central defenders. Murray Wallace, left wing back. Brooke Norton-Cuffy, right wing back. 2 central midfielders, Billy Mitchell and George Saville, with Zian Fleming in the 10, and up front, Kevin Nisbet and Tom Bradshaw. People moaning, saying, why are you playing 5 at the back at home against Huddersfield, who are below us? That doesn't necessarily mean, and it didn't work for me under out the 5 at the back, but once again, for those still going on about it, saying Rowett wins that game, fact, he wouldn't have done. Remember the turmoil we was in just before he left, the amount of games that we wasn't winning at home, the amount of heavy defeats we started to pick up, and this long run that we've been on of 3 wins in about 30 now at the Den. That's all stemmed from Rowett. Edwards has only been in charge for 2 of those games at the Den. So you can't pin it on Edwards. You can't say that wouldn't have happened under Rowett. How I look at it is this. Picking up a bit off what Kenny said that I explained the other week. Okay, it's going to take a long time for Joe Edwards to get this right. It's going to be a long season. It's not going to get a lot better, I don't think. But in time, I'm convinced he will get it right, and I'm convinced he's the man for the job. It's almost as if we was within a turtle shell. Imagine a turtle in its shell, and it was getting pelters and pounded on. And under Rowett, we would just take that, and eventually, if we had to stick our head out right at the end and try and nick a bit of lettuce, I think that's what they eat, nick a bit of lettuce and get fed and get something out of it, then we would. Joe Edwards is now looking to shed this shell, in my opinion. Not that turtles can shed their shells. I have no idea why I've used turtles as the comparison, but I've gone with it, and I will continue. Joe Edwards now wants to break out this shell, and he don't want to keep taking this damage and these pelters and just nicking what he can. He wants to open it up, and he wants to, he wants to fight back. He wants to become the predator. And that's why it's going to take a long, long time for him to get it right. In terms of team lineup, I said 2 different from what I said he should have gone with. Wasn't far off and wasn't far wrong from near on our best side, in my opinion. 3 at the back doesn't mean you're automatically defensive, because we had 2 up front. And it's either going to have to be a flat back 4 with a 2 wide men and 1 striker, or it's going to have to be 3 centre backs, 2 wing backs, incorporating into the starting 11. Joe Bryan, people say, why didn't he start? Well, because he's been out injured for fucking ages. That's why he didn't start. But he looked brilliant when he came on, and if he can stay fit, I see a few people saying on social media that if he can stay fit, he wouldn't be at Millwall. He'll still probably be in the Premier League. So now, with Norton-Cuffy looking really strong going forward and Bryan back, I think it will now be the time. It brings Leonard back into a position which I think he's much more effective in, and he can sort of be in that back 3, but he can carry the ball out and almost join in with those 2 midfielders. And we will be able to play more, especially with the 2 wing backs bombing on and 2 strikers. Nisbet and Bradshaw, we need 2 strikers. That's for definite. Lee Gregory, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying I want him back. He is available for loan in January from Sheffield Wednesday. Not wanted by the new manager at the club. Just an option, maybe. I don't know. We do need to bolster in that area in some way if we are going to play 2 up front, which I believe we should. Did it really work between Bradshaw and Nisbet? Well, it did not work, but neither of them scored, and it will take time for them to work out each other's game, realise each other's strengths and how to play off each other properly. But I'm not convinced, as much as I want them both to play, and they are both goal scorers, you're not going to get the Steve Morris and Lee Gregory, the big man, little man, striker with them. You're going to get 2 guys that are very good in the box, can take chances. So, as I said now, Bryan back in the side, hopefully, coming down that side. Norton-Cuffy was man of the match for me again Saturday. I've hammered him in the past, but it's because I've realised now I don't think he's a right back. He's young. He's just starting out his career. He's on loan from Arsenal, as we know. But I thought he was brilliant again. Even if he hadn't scored, I still would be saying he was man of the match on Saturday. Thought we played really well. So with those two now getting down the wings, and for me bringing in Watmore for Fleming, that would get us creating a lot more chances for the front two. And I think you'll see the best out of them. One other player I want to mention that wasn't on the bench, wasn't in the matchday squad, is Romain Esse. Now I might get a bit of hate for this. Articles coming out from Richard Cowley and other people, in the press, which is fine. That's what it's there for, to discuss like I am right now. But Romain Esse, not in the squad, of people putting things out about, he's not playing any football. He's not even on the bench. If I'm honest, look, he's a fantastic young talent. But I think you're all misremembering, or a lot of you are misremembering Romain Esse a little bit. He came off the bench a couple of times last season. He looked okay. He looked lively on the ball, lots of step overs, lots of flicks and tricks. Final product, not always fantastic, but looks lively and looks like he's definitely got potential. He scored, of course, coming off the bench the first game of the season, or at Middlesbrough. Brilliant assist from Amaku. But I think you're misremembering a bit. He was never been a regular in our side. He's young. I think he would benefit from a loan. And I definitely don't think he'll benefit being thrown to the wolves, like I've said over recent weeks, that Idemo Amaku has also, not benefiting from coming off the bench 10 minutes here and there, and we're losing games. It's just a confidence killer, especially for the youngsters. And I feel I feel Amaku's ready if he's played in the right position. But I don't think he's going to be, so maybe they will both benefit from a loan in January if we can get enough people through the door. So, right, getting into the game. Again, I thought it was better. It's going to be a slow process. We haven't really had that new manager bounce, which a lot of people are pointing to. Okay, I get that. We come in, first game, he wins 4-0 away at Sheffield Wednesday. That's now looking like a little bit of a freak result. In hindsight, Sheffield Wednesday actually did us a favour in the end, didn't they, by beating QPR late on. Otherwise, if they had held on QPR at Hillsborough, we would have dropped into the bottom three. But Sheffield Wednesday got that done. So, all right, we wanted all 3 points, but one still gets us away a little bit. I know it brings Sheffield Wednesday a little bit closer, but them and Rotherham are a long way behind. So the game, getting into it, I thought we did well. Honestly, the first half, we did well. I've just watched the highlights back. I don't know why our club only put out just the basic 2-minute highlights. I've just watched 10 minutes worth of extended highlights on the Huddersfield channel. So I don't know why we don't do that, but it was as I remembered it. We were on the front foot. Huddersfield had the first 10 minutes, and I feel that may have been Darren Moore's team to go out, try and get something, and then try and defend it. Sarkic did not have a save to make in the first half. There's one cross that comes in, Danny Wall backheels it, trickles towards Sarkic. That's the only opportunity they had. We had 5 or 6 shots on target. The first one we had was a really good passage of play. After that initial 10 minutes from Huddersfield, we got to grips with the game and we started to play well. It was a 4-man move. It involves Billy Mitchell, it involves George Saville and Ryan Leonard. Eventually it's worked through to Nisbet, who turns close control on the edge of the box, man in assistance, gets his shot away. Keeper saves it. Another one, Murray Wallace goes down the wing, crosses it in. It's a good cross. Keeper comes and gets a parry on it. Brooke Norton-Cuffy fires it back across, and the keeper's on hand to save it again. After that, we just continue coming. Zian Fleming has 2 long-range shots. The first one's a bit powder puff. Second one's a better shot. Keeper dives and saves it. Bradshaw just was following in. He just went down the wrong side of him as he was following in. And then just before half-time, Wes Harding in the box. He scored a few goals for us, Harding. And when he does score, similar to the one at Watford, his body shape and the way he strikes, he actually looks like a striker. And on this occasion, again, the ball goes over his shoulder. He turns, strikes it from an angle with his right foot, and the goalkeeper saves it. And as Pete O'Mara said many times before, look at the other team, look how dirty their goalkeeper is, look how much he's had to do. And we peppered him in the first half. Again, it wasn't fantastic, but definitely, for me, definitely improvements. And I will say this throughout, in the first half when we used to shoot towards the away end, it wasn't always great. We knew that in the second half, we usually got the job done. This is before, of course, these 3 wins out of 30 ran began. And in the second half, under Edwards on Saturday, I did expect us to kick on and win the game. I did predict a 3-0 win. I was still confident we was going to win the game at half-time, but that didn't happen. And Huddersfield actually had the better of the opening sort of 10, 15 minutes. They had, again, a couple of half chances. Another one that Wall fires over from a cross. Another shot they have which deflects off Wes Harding's back and flies over the bar. But still not a lot in the game. And eventually we start to get on top again and we get the lead. Murray Wallace, for the second game in a row, does really, really well. Cuts in on his left foot. I don't know how teams haven't sussed that out of him yet, but they haven't. So let's keep that one quiet. Let's keep it between us. Cuts in on his left foot. Delivers it in. Tom Bradshaw, again, I've watched the Huddersfield highlights, shows from about 5 different angles. And when he shows it from behind the goal, you do see that Bradshaw actually does get a flick on it. Keeper makes a really good save. Norton Cuffy's following up, shoots again from about a yard out, and the keeper makes another brilliant save. And then it sort of hits Norton Cuffy. He hurdles over the goalkeeper with the ball, and it just sort of trickles in. And he must be a believer. You got to hit the net for it to count, because he just trolleys it into the net, runs off, celebrates his second goal of the season. As I said, it was a much deserved reward for him. I felt he was man of the match. Thought he was brilliant. After that, you think that we're going to go on and win the game. Fleming was removed. Nisbet come on, made us look a lot sharper coming forward. Helped us break a lot quicker. He has a little interaction with Joe Bryan, where Bryan slots him in. Watmore slides him. It comes off the keeper. Bryan follows up with a right foot shot. Again, their keeper safe. And I would say that our fans were happy with that until that point. We didn't look in danger of conceding. We was pressing for a second. However, again, it wasn't fantastic. But I just think at the minute, that's the level that we're at. It's going to be scrappy. Players are low on confidence. Crowd are low on confidence. We've got this thing at the den hanging over us. So it wouldn't have mattered if we'd have got that over the line 1-0. It would have been relief. It would have been something to build on again. But obviously, again, the goal comes and you could feel the tension around the ground. 90 plus 6 minutes goes up, 6 added injury minutes, and it gone silent in there. You could hear a pin drop. I think it's at that point, I think as fans, we need to, me as well, not all of you. I know we're nervous. I know it's tension, but we need to try and fucking give it, Bradford at home in the playoffs a few years ago. Just the mood, it was just fucking ringing around the ground. Just must give the players a lift. I think vocally we could have done with getting on board with it a bit more. But I get people are nervous, people are touching, they're fucking shitting their pants, just like I was. But I've said this before and I say it again, 2 players that missed out on the Leicester game, and I said they both got to come back in. They are both big fan favourites, especially George Saville seems to be a massive fan favourite at the minute. It's game management and experience from professional footballers that have been playing a long, long time, and discipline. The guy comes down the touchline right in front of us where we sit. He's going absolutely nowhere. He knocks the ball round Cooper, but Cooper's got so tight to him that he's never going to be able to turn, and he just has to pull him down. Cooper doesn't even need to get that tight to him on the touchline. If anything, step off him, let him turn and receive it. Kills a little bit more time. He's got to then either come inside or re-get the ball and try and knock it past you to get some pace. Cooper, by diving in, Cooper just let him in one touch, knock it around him and keep the pace of the ball going. So he had to pull him down. It's really amateurish from Cooper, and it hurts me to say that. You know how much I love Coops. He's a Millwall legend. He'll know that anyway. Captain of the side. Have a bit of discipline, have a bit of game management, have a bit of experience about you. We did try and keep the ball in the corner flag at points, but that was after about a minute. It was 6 minutes on the ball, so you couldn't keep it in the corner flag for 6 minutes. But game management and knowing that you've been in that position before and knowing how to manage it. He's dived in. He shouldn't have done it. Free kick conceded. Free kick comes in. It's headed away. It's volleyed from the edge of the box. And unfortunately, I've watched it back. There's actually a slow motion zoomed in replay somewhere on YouTube. I've seen that as well. And it's handball. All day, every day of the week, it's a Stonewall penalty. And he does it on purpose. His hands are in an unnatural position. I get sometimes when you're trying to head it, you've got to leverage with your hands, but he sort of goes like that. And he realises what he's done straight away. So he leans his head in. I think if he just throws his body across, hits him in the face. I think if he just leaves it, he bounces on the edge of the 6-yard box and Sarkic was right behind it. I don't know why he's done it. Look, I do know why he's done it. He's done it for the good of the team and he's tried to get away with one, but you're just not going to get away with that. Especially the way referees treat us in our matches. You're just not going to get away with it. It is a Stonewall penalty. Huddersfield equalised and it is fucking absolutely gutting. Supposed to go round my cousin, her house on Saturday night for an Indian, a little bit of a family thing, and I cancelled. Partly because I had a terrible night's sleep Friday, but just partly because I'm just absolutely fucking mentally and physically exhausted and drained by the end of these home games. It's just this hanging over us now. It wouldn't have even been that bad if that had happened away from home, in my opinion, but it's these home games. It's just not enjoying being at the den at the minute. I enjoyed the game to that point, but it just absolutely knocked the bollocks out of me and just sulked. Just come on and sulked all day yesterday. But obviously today the show must go on and I do want to cover it and have my say on the game. So after the game, it's 1-1. As I said, it's another point on the board, yes, but it's a game you should be winning. Stoke away this coming Saturday won't be easy, followed by QPR at home Boxing Day. Games we need to start picking up points in. Joe Edwards, after the game, watched his post-match with the club, and again, he edges towards the players. And do you know what about Edwards? People have said, are you not worried? I've seen all the comments on YouTube. Are you not worried that he's never managed before? He's got no experience to draw this from. No, I'm not. And do you know what? Fair play to him because he's very confident in what he says. He's never once said, I'm new to this. It might take me time. He is completely 100% confident in what he's doing, how we're going to play, and the process. Oh, I fucking hate that. Trust the process. But it's true. And he's pointed towards the players. He's not once said, I'm new, blah, blah, blah. He said, it's the players. You can't really take too many positives from this game because, again, we've dropped points. We haven't won. And the players do not perform like this in the week, in training. They're better than this, and they're not getting to the levels on a Saturday. The pressure of performing in front of our fans at the Den, of course, yes, we know that. The run we're on at the Den, it must be playing on their minds. And we see it. We do see it. We know what Edwards is saying because the club posts things, inside Calmont Road, videos on Twitter and Instagram, goals, goals, goals. And it's showing all the players banging these fucking worldies in the top corners on the training ground. And you see people in the comments saying, yeah, shame they fucking can't get near the goal on a Saturday. Or shame none of them can do that on a Saturday. So it's, it is there plain and simple. It is the players not getting to the levels that Joe Edwards knows they can. So, again, is it the players? Yes. Is it that the players aren't good enough? No, probably not. I mean, if you've got Nisbet, Bradshaw, Fleming all firing in that front three, that's not a front three that should be near the bottom of the league, in my opinion. And it is the players. And we're not saying now they're bad players. Edwards is saying they're not getting anywhere near the levels they should be getting to. So, yeah, absolutely gutted. But I want to say as well, it's another point on the board, yes. But we do need to start picking up wins at some point. I am confident we will do that. But it is going to take the gaffer time to get it right. And I feel it's small steps. And I feel that what we need to do now, because Gary Rowett is gone, because he didn't want to be the manager of this football club anymore. So forget that now. Well, actually, before we forget that, I've honestly never known a manager, I'm going to say it, he got defended more, okay, when we was on that 14-game winless run, okay, when we was near the relegation zone during COVID, he got defended to the fucking hill. He used to get more backing than Harris did after Harris left. And even now, after he's gone, I think he gets more praise and compliments than Harris did. I've never known a manager that I thought was absolutely bang average to get so much love from our fan base. And I don't know why. But I think with Edwards, he is going to get it right. It is going to take time. But I'm prepared to wait that time. As I said, I don't think we're going to go down in the division. I think it is going to take him a lot of time to get it right. But I don't want to criticise now. I want to try and take positives out of each game. And I forgot to say that during my Leicester post-match. I feel that instead of going, fuck, another loss, we need to go, right, first half was very good. And it was very good. First 25 minutes, we was the better side, clearly. Okay, they got into gear. And the second half of the first half, they had more possession, a lot more possession. And they did press us without really breaking us down. So they have broke a lot of sides down at home this season and away. That's why they're top of the league. So the first 45, there is positives to take. And that's what I would have said if I was Joe Edwards. Right the second half off. Let's build on this now. And again, I feel we need to look at it in a way now where you say, okay, 2 home games now without defeat. I know you need to win your home games. But again, let's take the positives from that and from the Sunderland game and work on that and just look positive going forward into the Stoke game. How can we then improve it? Just little bits every time. Just little bits every time. I watched Stoke yesterday, and they're not great. They scored a free goal against West Brom. They're without a manager at the minute. So definitely, if there's ever a time to go and get 3 points and give the fans an early Christmas present, that would actually be the perfect time. But look, that's for a Stoke preview. That's for Thursday. I hope you've enjoyed this post-match analysis, and I may cover later on today or before Thursday, the Stoke preview, the Husky stuff was going on. I did know about it. I didn't say anything until obviously the club posted it because I'm getting shit for stuff like that. But I will try and cover, Millwall are allegedly trying to sue Husky or going to sue Husky for. But I'll get into that in a separate video. And that's your lot. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you hopefully before Thursday. But if not, definitely Thursday. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.